How's it going? Today I'm going to be taking you through a super simple pour-over recipe. This recipe is really easy to follow along with whatever coffee you're using at home. I'm going to be using a really nice natural Nicaraguan coffee roasted by Mylo Coffee in Durban. I'm using 15 grams of this coffee and I'm going to grind it on the Mylo SG1 hand grinder at 20 clicks. Sweet. Once I've got that ground, I'm going to grab my dripper. So today I'm using the Mylo brewing kit. I'll start by wetting the filter paper. The water I'm using today is just off the boil. And for the recipe, I'm going to be using, for my 15 grams of coffee, you're going to be using 250 grams of water in 5 equal pours of 50 grams, 30 seconds apart. So it makes it really simple, really easy to follow along with, and very repeatable. So you know that you're doing the same thing every time that you make your coffee. Sweet. So the point of my first pour is just to make sure that all of the coffee grounds are fully saturated. I want to make them get them in contact with the water so that they can bloom and release the gases stored inside. And then, as I say, I'm going to do consecutive pours, 30 seconds apart, all of 50 grams up until I get to 250 grams. This recipe is great because depending on how you like your coffee, depending on what coffee you're brewing, you can adjust this recipe to give you different results. If you want something a little bit stronger, what you can do is you can either increase how much coffee you're using or decrease how much water you use. You can change the grind size to dial it in a little bit depending on how you're grinding your coffee. But it really is super easy and repeatable. Pour over coffee can sometimes be quite intimidating. There's a lot of variables to play around with. But once you've got a recipe that you like, once you've got one that's simple enough to follow along with, it's really not something you're ever going to stop doing because it's super addictive and tastes good every single time. And it's a lovely way to get the day started. Awesome. Starting my last pour here. The aim of the game with pour over brewing is always consistency, so making sure that I'm pouring the same way every time. So you can see I'm doing my pours in circles spiraling outwards. This just makes sure that all of the grounds are agitated the same and get the same amount of contact time, and I don't have like pockets which are affected differently than others. And this means that when I come back and brew tomorrow, I've got the exact same result. With a brew like this, I'm aiming for a drawdown time around 3 minutes, but it might go all the way up to 3 minutes 30, depending on the coffee I'm brewing and how fine I'm grinding. Pour over is delicious. It gives a super clean, crisp flavor with nice fruity, acidic coffees. You get a lot of that brightness, but a lot of sweetness coming through too. So it's really a delicious way to brew your morning cup. Awesome. So the water's all seeped through the bed, so I can stop my brew there and enjoy my cup of coffee. Enjoy.